Hello, this is John Sims with the Avaya Serviceability Engineering Team. This video is about the Avaya B5800 Branch Gateway and creating a managed element and synchronizing with that managed element using Avaya or a System Manager. First, a few notables about managed element creation with Avaya or a System Manager. In order for System Manager to manage a B5800, a managed element must exist for each individual B5800 in System Manager. There are two methods to create a managed element. First, through network discovery, which is covered in another Avaya Mentor video, or what I'm going to show today, which is manual creation of the managed element. System Manager needs to supply the correct username password when accessing the web services on B5800, and that's accomplished through a service account that exists on System Manager and B5800 called the System Manager B5800 Admin account. It's a member of the System Manager Admin Rights group on the B5800. On initial discovery, System Manager uses the default service user, System Manager B5800 Admin, with the default password of the same. Once synchronized, going forward, this password is then controlled by System Manager and randomized. So let's get started. You see I'm on the landing page of the Avaya or System Manager 6.2 system, and I'm going to head in the middle of the page there under Elements to the Inventory. Under the Inventory subpages, you'll see now I'm heading towards Managed Elements, and that's what I'll select. So I'm in the Elements subpage. I'll select New, and then I'll fill in the drop-down box. I'll select B5800 Branch Gateway. Now this will provide more information to fill out, including the system name, and that of course is all optional and variable up to your naming convention. As you see, I'm calling it Sims B5800, and then under the node you have to type in the IP address. Now there's nothing for us to do with access point or port, and before I hit the commit button, you'll see I have other required fields to fill out with these asterisks under the attributes. So we're going to select V1 for SNMP version 1 and give it a read community string of public. Again, that's variable and optional up to customer design and config. Everything else we're going to leave alone, including device types B5800, and we don't have to supply a write community string. I'll scroll down, and here's the service login I spoke of, System Manager B5800 Admin. So I'm going to cut and paste and use that account name as also my initial password to sync up with the B5800 that's right now sitting there in default configuration. So it's expecting that password. So if you see, if I head back to Elements and I sort on Type Branch Gateways, you'll see that in the middle there of the B5800 list, I've created a Sims B5800 Branch Gateway element. So I'm going to head to Synchronization, B5800 Branch Gateway, and this will take a minute as it's pulling real time from System Manager. And you see we have a list here of the B5800s right now being managed and controlled by System Manager. And you'll see we have our latest one on the top of the list that we just created, Sims B5800 on 129.6, and it's already synchronized and completed. You see the timestamp there of September 21st. So I'm going to select this B5800, and then if I scroll down, I'll leave it on System Configuration and Users. And I have the option to run the Scheduler application in System Manager to schedule this event through the Scheduler service, where you can pick the time, you can tell it when you want to repeat this from minutes to yearly, or give it a occurrence range if you want, or occurrence numbers. I'll go ahead and cancel on this because I want to actually kick this job off immediately. So I'll reselect the Sims B5800 Branch Gateway, leave it on System Configuration and Users, and select Now to run the job now. You see if I hit refresh, it's starting, and if I hit refresh again, it's almost near instantly completed. It's a quick pull in of data from the system, from the B5800 unit. So if I head to the Scheduler application or subpages on the System Manager, you'll see that we can track what we did, and we see here that we have a job that's completed once. We kicked it off manually, and if I want to see more details on this, I'll select it, and then under More Actions select View Log. Now view log will come up and you'll see our information. If I select that again and click view, we can actually look at the informational log that's presented to us. And you see that we have, in the message, we have success on a sync of system configuration on the between System Manager and the SIMS B5800 Avaya Branch Gateway. So we're going to leave System Manager for a minute, and under Advanced, I'm in the Manager client for B5800. I'm going to Advanced Security Settings. I'm going to pull a security configuration into the Manager client. So if I provide the proper account and password, you'll see a pop-up here that we're still running under default password, so I'll hit OK to that. And then under the services, I want to point out an important web service here. It's the web services service. That is what handles all transactions between B5800 and System Manager. So that's an important service to know about. And then under the configuration service, you'll see that we have a checkbox here that's been checked since we've synchronized with System Manager. It checks it automatically. It now says that we're under System Manager administration, and that's a lockout feature or function that means we cannot manage this B5800 directly now with Manager on the configuration side. Here's the System Manager B5800 admin account I spoke of, service user account, which is part of the System Manager admin group. And if you needed to ever change the password on System Manager, you would do it under the Manage element, or we would do it here, change the password to resync as well here on the B5800. So both on System Manager and here on the B5800 if you're required to do so to resync passwords. So if I'm going to show you something here, I'm going to go to the configuration side of the Manager client, and I'm going to try to pull a configuration now on this B5800. And remember, it is now firmly locked down by System Manager for centralized management. So this is in order to maintain accountability and make sure that the customer has control, that all changes are being made from a central location. So we get the message there that we're unable to log in. The IP office is now under network management control, which in this case means System Manager control. So again, if I go back to, in order to clear this bit out and allow for direct manager access, you'll see I'll pull the security config again. Let this pull up into the Manager client, again with our warning. And I'll go to the services configuration and I'll uncheck that under System Manager Administration checkbox. I'll click OK and I'll save the configuration back up to the B5800. So now if I go ahead and go back to the configuration side, just to be complete here, I'll pull the configuration again, and now we're able to access the B5800 configuration directly with the Manager client because again we cleared out that under System Manager field. So that is if you're doing something in the field that requires direct access. Otherwise you would normally leave this under System Manager control, because you see on the home page, something we'll get into in future videos, we have the ability to manage the B5800 directly from System Manager, as you see me pointing to it right there, the B5800 Branch Gateway subpages. So this completes our demonstration. Thank you for your time today. We welcome comments, questions, and feedback at mentor@avaya.com or on Twitter @AvayaMentor. For more details or related information, please visit support.avaya.com. Thank you for choosing Avaya.